Panther people, what up? I feel a bromance coming along, and I feel like one of my favorites could be on his way out. Go down and watch Panthers Post. Thanks for joining. I haven't worn this white Luke Kuechly jersey in so friggin' long, probably because I've been in like Bryce Young world forever. So I've been rocking the process blue and the black with Cam Newton in a while. But I know I hate on the Panthers and their home jersey being white, but I gotta admit, this is a clean jersey. And since so many of y'all think I look like Tetsuo McMillan, if I'm in a Cop Tet jersey, Nalo jersey, might be the white one. It just looks so good. Anyways, let's talk about OTAs and everyone's showing up. I know these are optional. I think the O stands are optional. The fact that everybody's showing up, including Derek Brown, I haven't seen that guy in Panthers colors in so long. He's not really participating, but he's there, doing his thing, probably just drinking a lot of Gatorade, staying hydrated, which is a great thing to do. Summer's coming around. But to see guys like JC Horn, and again, we are at the mercy of whatever the Panthers social media account gives us, what they dish to us. And right now, they're sending all the goods. They know exactly what we want. They know we need to get our fix. We need a Bryce Young fix. We need a Tetsuo McMillan fix. We need a Jimmy Horn Jr. fix. And yes, didn't think I needed a JC Horn in a brand new helmet. I forget the model with a blue tinted visor. I needed that so bad. That's like you're at the bar and you're drinking a bunch of IPAs and lagers. And someone's like, do you want a shot of tequila? And you're like, you know what? I could go for that. And then you get it. You're like, dang, that actually kind of worked out. You can tell I'm getting older because I'm starting to like tequila a little bit. Back in my 20s, tequila was like instant, floor on the ground, end of the night. But either way, I think it looks great. I don't know what the NFL's rules are. I know in the Canadian Football League, you could still wear like tinted, like dark tinted visors, and everybody looks like RoboCop. In the NFL, I don't think you can do that anymore. But if they could allow that, he just looks so badass. And I love the grill that he's wearing right now. I remember back in my high school days, I was so enthralled by the different grills on the helmets. And I love the one that JC's wearing right now. He looks focused. Looks like he's got some speed. His feet look good. He looks healthy. That's what I'm all about. So JC looks great. Nick Scorton, he looks dope as well. I don't care if he's wearing number 11. He looks explosive. And some of the drills that he and Princely are doing, Princely looks a bit slower, not as explosive, but he's more of a fluid Brian Burns type. Nick Scorton, he's got that power. He can punch you in the face. And so I think he looks awesome. And again, this is just practice. No one's hitting anybody. They're just wearing helmets. And again, we're at the mercy of whatever the social media account brings to us, but I like the way everyone's looking. I like the intensity. Everyone's bodies look nice and jacked. They're all doing the offseason program, but they know what we want. And as I mentioned before, the hit that we need is with the offense. The offense has got so much pressure on it because of how Bryce played in the latter half of the season and how Xavier Leggett started the season. And also, the man needs to back up the amount of press that he's doing. Intentional, unintentional press. That dude is everywhere. He could run for the governor of North and South Carolina at the exact same time. Not only is he at practice, man's at the Kentucky Derby. He's not just watching horses. He's also eating all the food. He's on Kay Adams. He's rocking that stuff. Now he's doing Reese's Pieces peanut butter cup commercials. He's doing Old Spice commercials. He is at the Carolina Hurricanes game, even though they lost the series in 5 games. We call that a gentleman's sweep. And he was out there rocking the jersey, signing footballs, throwing it, loving life. Never been to a hockey game in his damn life. And I can only imagine, side note, what this guy would be like at Bank of America Stadium during a meaningful regular season game and then a playoff game, which I truly believe the Panthers will be playing at some point, either this year or next year. The man's going to be off the wall crazy. Like, I honestly believe that if the Panthers were to win a playoff game, he and his friends will be riding through Charlotte fast on their horses, and it'll be a sight to behold. Let's talk about the offense. And first things first, let's talk about some news. Tommy Tremble had back surgery. Oh, okay. He had back surgery. I don't know what kind of back surgery. I don't know if it's a slipped disc. Don't want to mess that one up. I don't know if it's a muscle thing, if it's a bone thing, but the back is never good because this is a collision sport. These things always flare up. You never really get over it. He is a tall human being, a jacked human being, probably still not supposed to be carrying that much weight. And that, plus it's a collision sport. I don't know what the rehab process is going to be like. Hence, this makes sense why they got Mitchell Evans, his fellow Golden Domer, drafted this year. And he is taking reps. JT Sanders, I talked about in a previous video. Check that one out. Who is the draft good and bad for? I mentioned how JT Sanders, this could be bad for him. Not saying he's going to get cut. he's just going to have a little bit of a tougher time to find the field and try to get, balls thrown his way. But now it looks like it's actually Tommy Tremble who just signed the extension, and that doesn't stop anybody from trading him, or just sitting down on IR or whatever it is, or just not being in the picture this year in terms of being an active member. But this is next man up mentality, and JT Sanders has to grow quickly in his second year in the league. Got to get back in shape. I talked about he looked a little tubby during the offseason, but now he's with the team. He's in the facility. I hope he's getting jacked and eating right, doing all the right stuff there, because he now has a rookie in Mitchell Evans, who came back from an ACL injury and played well in college in his last year at Notre Dame. So he's a big body target, probably not as fluid as JT Sanders, but he's just like almost like a supersized Tommy Tremble. And so a little bit more pressure on JT to perform. Mitchell Evans out there to take some jobs, take some reps. Tommy Tremble now a little bit behind the 8-ball. You got to think that until he's healthy, your best ability is availability and durability. He just had back surgery. He's almost like a distant third right now in terms of the depth chart, in terms of tight end. So a little bit of pressure on Tommy Tremble as well. He got paid. He deserved it, but now he's got to step up. But now let's talk about the meat and potatoes. I love the tight ends in our room. I do. But I'm obsessed with this wide receiver room. Just check out my latest episode talking about Jimmy Horn Jr. We're going to put him on the side because we already know he's going to be awesome. We think he's been great. Watch the video again. I do suggest that maybe it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for them, as in the Panthers front office, to be pumping him up just to dump him to somebody and trade him, maybe for a linebacker or a safety, unless they get Jalen Ramsey, which is still a possibility. Hasn't happened yet. But this team is really, the offense is Bryce Young, Xavier Legette. He's the number one, right? First round pick from last year. You would assume he's number one guy because he's more familiar with the offense. Tetro McMillan. And no disrespect to Adam Thielen, yes, I guess you could say he's the number one. He's got the most experience. He's the most clutch catcher on this team, but he's the third. He's like the veteran guy. He's the player coach. He's like everybody's dad on the team, but it's those three: Bryce, XL, Nalo. Those guys are the offense. And there's a photo circulating. It's on my thumbnail. Xavier Legette and Tetaroa dapping it up, and that was the dap heard around the world. If I'm a defensive coordinator, I am freaking out. Arms fully outstretched. It reminds me of the Power Rangers. You get the two different robots, you make the Megazord, and then watch out, bad guys. Watch out, Kaizus. We're up to get you. And the way XL plays, physicality, man's also fast, because I saw in the comments below, you guys were talking about how fast his 40-yard dash was. It was faster than Tetro McMillan's. But those two guys together, they do different things. Tet, taller, rangier, massive hands. And then you got Xavier, physical, will manhandle you, knock you down, but also got the speed as well. And those two guys on the same team is one thing, but those two guys love each other. And I don't see Xavier Legette as a guy who plays mind games. And when he was asked about Tetaroa, Nalo, I got to keep saying all those names so I don't say Tet. But they asked about him. And, it makes sense because you kind of have to ask him. He was a first-round wide receiver pick last year. Now they picked another one even earlier in the draft. You got to think, if this is a quarterback situation, yeah, you're going to talk about it. It's going to be competition. Could there be some animosity? And it doesn't seem like XL has any animosity to Nalo whatsoever. He literally called him a masterpiece pick. A masterpiece. And, he told Kay Adams he doesn't want to text him. He wanted to see him face to face, doing this like a gentleman. And it looks like he did that. They look like they're on the right track right now. They're on the same page. And that is dangerous. Because you already got Tetro meeting up with Bryce in Southern California, as Southern California guys would do. They were playing catch before the draft. Bryce Young speaking out for Tetro to be on this team. So they already got that chemistry on top of the chemistry that he has with Xavier Legette. And now you got Xavier Legette and four. I don't know why I did that, but they're jiving. They're on the same team, but they're also on the same mindset. They respect each other. There's no competition. We're all young dudes right now. I say we as in I'm part of the team, but they got a mission. They saw what last season was. The vibes are high. People started to pay attention. You get those two guys jiving and no ego amigos. And then you got Bryce. This could really be a duplication of the Cincinnati Bengals when it comes to having Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Joe Burrow. You got Bryce Young, Tetaroa, XL. They're like the flux capacitor, just energy between those three and just effing up defenses, giving everybody brain fog, and then you insert your, Chuba Hubbard, who I haven't even mentioned yet, just like punching you in the mouth. And then you got Rico Dowdle punching you in the friggin' ass. And then you have, Mitchell Evans going to get some reps. JT Sanders, Tommy Tremble when he's happy. And then you got, oh yeah, Adam Thielen. Like before, like literally last year when I was talking about that wide receiver core, thinking, okay, I was kind of lying to myself, saying everybody was kind of, big body receivers. They're going to mess you around. They're going to push you around. Big guys hit small guys. But now this really is a diverse wide receiver core, a diverse offense, minus the run. I think everybody kind of is not a one-trick pony, but they're all kind of the same. But they want to hit you in the mouth, minus Etienne. But focusing back on that wide receiver duo, I love what I'm hearing from Xavier Legette about his respect and his appreciation of what Nalo brings to the team. Bryce seems to be as happy as can be. Is his music to his ears? That's what he told reporters about having Teteroa being drafted 8th overall. And if he's happy and they're happy, this offense is going to play happy. They're going to play free. They're not going to feel the pressure because it's still a young team. I think, outside of Panthers world, there could be some people who think they're making the wild card. I firmly believe they're going to make the wild card. I think they're going to challenge for the NFC South. So I'm hyped. I'm hyped to seeing what I saw. Obviously, I think everyone saw that video of Bryce, the first toss, the Cali to Cali connection to Teteroa. Didn't even have to jump over the defenders right in the breadbasket. Beautiful, beautiful. And that's him in full stride. That's what you want. I want to see that with Jimmy Horn Jr. as well. He uses his electric speed on the field, but Teteroa didn't even have to jump for that. But I'm assuming that if there is a moment where he does have to do the jump ball and use that 6'4", 6'5" frame, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. It's going to be art. So super hype about the offense. Let me know if you're watching these OTAs. What do you take away from OTAs? Do you jump the gun? You get super hype? Are you smoking that hypium in late May like me? If so, comments below. Let me know how you feel about what you're seeing. Also, talk about the defensive side just a little bit. So DJ Wonnum, his back flared up. Not great. Guy has a bad history right now. He had a torn quad. Then he had blood clots. And now he's got a back flare up. Not the best. I saw on Twitter, X. That's why he shouldn't have let Jadeveon Clowney go. But guess what? There's someone out there who is pretty disgruntled and wants to get paid like a number one defensive end in the league, and that's Trey Hendrickson with the Cincinnati Bengals. I was just talking about the Cincinnati Bengals offense. Trey Hendrickson and the Bengals still have not figured stuff out. The man's over 30. He wants to get paid like a number one D end. He led the league in sacks. Are you willing to trade for him, Panthers? Are you willing? In the last video, would you trade Jimmy Horn? Jimmy Horn, maybe next year's second round pick to the Cincinnati Bengals for Trey Hendrickson to try to get that veteran presence on the defensive end who you just lost in Jadeveon Clowney? Or you can always put the blinders on that, as we talk about XL, put the blinders like you would on a horse, and just put all your eggs in the Nick Scorton Princely basket and then just see what happens. And I'm kind of in the school thought of that. Hopefully DJ Wonnum gets healthy because that is a lot of pressure to put on two rookie defensive ends, and assuming that they're just going to elevate this defensive line. Obviously, they would be helped out with Derek Brown being healthy, and then all the other, like Tersh Wharton, all the guys that they added so far on the team. You do have Patrick Jones III. He's a veteran. So I think, again, they're going to be swapping these defensive ends out depending on the situation. So not the greatest on DJ Wonnum, but there is an option out there, in Trey Hendrickson, if you believe in what he did last year, and can he replicate that for the foreseeable future? To me, he might be more of like not saying he's as old as Jared Allen or as good as Jared Allen, but he seems like a piece for a team that is like literally a couple pieces away from winning the Super Bowl. So while as much as I would love for him to be a Carolina Panther, I think it might be premature to give up assets for someone like him, because I think he's like that last piece to try to win a Super Bowl type of talent. Speaking of talent, Jalen Ramsey has put it out there. He's not going back to Miami. I don't think you have to trade for him. He's just a free agent. Do the Panthers go and get him? That Justin Blackmon button has still not been hit. And so options still out there. But I think Damani Richardson looked good in practice. Ransom looked good as well, rocking 22. And then, of course, we got Trevor Morrig, who also looks great. So you could always add Jalen Ramsey. To me, bit of a name brand. He hasn't really popped off the screen quite some time for me since his days with the Rams. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm totally into that right now. I like our group. I like our group. Wow. But yeah, like Justin Blackmons are available. As long as you don't have to give up assets and maybe pay the vet min for someone like Jalen Ramsey. But again, he also seems like a guy who is that final piece for a team that wants to win a Super Bowl. Just kind of put them over the edge. I'm not saying he's a game breaker, a guy who takes over a game, but he's available. Let me know in the comments below. Do you want them to pick up Jalen Ramsey? Another piece of news. I think we already knew this, but the Panthers are going to be playing the Houston Texans in practice in training camp. So they're going to have joint practices with the Texans, and that's going to be vibes for days. I think everyone's going to be best friends until they actually scrimmage themselves. But I mean, I'm already looking forward to the questions that are going to be asked CJ Stroud and Bryce Young about comparing their careers thus far in the first 2 years of their careers, what they've accomplished, what they've not accomplished. If you want to talk about it, Bryce Young is kind of, in the last couple of games, has fared better than CJ Stroud. He has looked better, a little bit more promising in terms of his career. But you know what? I think the front office and the coaches of the Texans are not going to want to see CJ Stroud struggle again. It looks like they revamped their wide receiver core. I think they got both wide receivers out of Iowa State. That's going to help him out immensely. And so these guys' careers are always going to be intertwined. And so it's going to be a lot of fun during training camp to watch them both navigate with the media, navigate with reporters, and hopefully maybe do some content with those two. I think that's going to be a lot of fun if, both teams allow them to just be friends for a little bit. Anyways, that's it for this week. Let me know what you think about the offense shaping up right now in front of our eyes. Mind you, they're not wearing pads. How you feeling about the duo of XL and Tetro McMillan? Bryce Young, we love him. That's it, really. Do you want Trey Hendrickson? Do you want Jalen Ramsey? Let me know. Comments below. See you guys soon.